G'day guys, it's Luke here from Tech Blokes, and iOS 13 Beta 5 is available, and in today's video we're going to be checking out some of the new functionality that's come out with Beta 5. Now I will say it's more of an iteration this time around. Basically Apple has done a lot of fixes. They've put through a whole heap of new bug fixes in this release. If you remember, in some of the original beta releases there was about 200 little bugs and issues that they had to fix, and they've now got that down to about 45. So they are working very hard in the background to resolve all of those problems. And in today's video, I'm going to talk you through some of the new things that have become available, not just for the iPhone, but also for the iPad Pro over here. There's some really cool stuff on the iPad actually. So there were some problems that people were reporting with WhatsApp not working. That appears to be resolved. I don't actually use WhatsApp myself. It's not really that popular here in Australia. So guys, there were also some banking applications that didn't appear to be working normally. They appear to be working quite well. I didn't actually have any problems with my Australian bank on my iPhone. It worked perfectly fine. The app opened up, it didn't crash, and I could access everything normally. So guys, the public release of Beta 5 should be available probably tomorrow, I would say. Normally it's not too far off after we get it as a developer tester. Okay guys, so the first thing that I've noticed when you go to the Shortcuts application, there are some things missing. There were actually 3 options in Beta 4 down the bottom here, and one of those is missing, and that particular shortcut actually gave the ability to walk in, maybe at home or in the office, and tap an NFC tag, and that would enable you to do different things. So maybe that was, turn on Bluetooth or connect to a particular Wi-Fi network. That appears to be missing now. We only have the 2 options, My Shortcuts and Gallery. I really do hope that they bring this option back. I really feel like NFC tags have been underutilized, and they're really handy, especially in the workplace. Maybe you connect to a particular Wi-Fi network. Maybe there's certain things that you need opened when you go into your work day to day. Fingers crossed they bring that back. Like I said, there's only the 2 options that you can see down the bottom there that are available in Beta 5. So fingers crossed we'll see that when we get the full GM version of iOS 13. Now the volume, when you click up and down, you can see it pop in and out from the side there. That actually has a little bit of haptic feedback to it now. And essentially once you go all the way up, you'll get a little bit of a buzz, and all the way down, the same thing. So that's quite nice, especially maybe you're in a movie, or perhaps you're in a quiet space at work and you just want to know that you've actually turned the volume all the way down. Doing that will pop out from the side, and you'll just get that nice little haptic feedback, which is really cool. So one of the new features that's also become available with Beta 5 is a brand new share sheet. So in Beta 4, it was there. It was probably not as polished as what we see in Beta 5, but essentially what would happen is when you go into Safari and say you wanted to share this particular website, clicking on the little share icon at the bottom and scrolling up, you'll get more options to do different sharing. Now I'm using dark mode, so it's still using that dark mode option there, but things appear to be laid out a bit neater in this particular version. And seeing all of the things that you probably use frequently is also up the top there with the ability to scroll through those. So that's a really nice little addition. Now you also have the option to edit the actions. So if you want to add in something that you use frequently, that is also available there as well. Now one other little minor change that I've noticed is the carrier and the signal along with the 4G or LTE symbol has actually changed a little bit. You'll notice that the 4G is the same size now as the carrier name. Now I'm with Optus here in Australia, but if you have LTE, I've noticed that that also matches the exact same size as the carrier name as well. So just a nice little change. Now one thing I haven't had the chance to test yet, but I'm hoping has improved, is battery life. Battery life on the iPhone SE has always been pretty good. What I did notice with Beta 4 was it was actually pretty terrible. My battery was depleting itself within 2 to 3 days on standby mode. So I'm hoping that that will improve this time around on Beta 5. And I'll make another video just to follow that up and see how things are going in a few days. Now, one of the most exciting features that Apple's released with Beta 5 is the ability to use a mouse as your pointer device on your iPad. Now, what I will say is it was a little bit clunky in Beta 4, but with Beta 5, they have made some improvements to how it all works. So essentially what you can do now is change the size of the pointer as well as the color. So what I'll show you is how to do that, and what you will need to do is obviously have a Bluetooth mouse to do that. I'm using the Logitech Master 2S, which is my favorite mouse by far. Now what you can do is jump into settings and go into Bluetooth. Just make sure that the actual mouse is connected, and then what you can then do is change your size of the pointer. So you need to go into accessibility and then go to the touch section, assistive touch, and then go into devices, and there we go, you've got the Logitech up the top there. And now you can change the buttons if you wanted to, but what we want to do is actually just change the pointer style. So there we go, it's currently on gray and the size is up the top here, so I can make it really big if I want to, but just for this I'm going to drop it right down to the smallest one and make it red. So much easier to see once you've changed it to a different color. So I'm glad that Apple has incorporated that. I can see a lot of elderly people really enjoying having the option to use a mouse and being able to use like a folio keyboard as well. So guys, other than that, there isn't really a huge number of changes in Beta 5. It's really just a lot of bug fixes. Apple has said that there's about 13 bug fixes that they've rolled out with Beta 5, and I can tell you straight away, it definitely feels a lot better, especially on lower end devices like the iPhone SE. Now, obviously, we are going to lose support for some older devices like the iPhone 6, which I'm a little bit bummed about. I feel like the iPhone 6 definitely could have ran Beta 5 no problems. So guys, I'm going to report back on battery life on Beta 5. I feel like my iPhone SE definitely took a really big hit with that, but overall I'm really happy with it. We're getting really close now to the final release. September is just around the corner, so we're going to hopefully get a new iPhone, and you know, we've seen a lot of renders, a lot of clones, a lot of different designs coming out of China and people talking about those. So I'm excited to see what we're actually going to get. iOS 13 is really good. I feel like Apple's making some great strides in the right direction, especially with the iPad and having mouse support. So guys, that's it for this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Please leave a comment. If you've got any questions, drop them below. What feature do you like the most about iOS 13? Is it mouse support? Do you love that you can change the pointer color on the iPad? Let me know. See you in the next video, guys. Cheers.